Hello and welcome to White Glove Reviews. And in this video, I will be giving you my audiobook report on Redshirts, a novel with 3 codas by John Scalzi, and it's read by Wil Wheaton. Well, wait, not that Wil Wheaton, this Wil Wheaton. Anyway, the book is kind of interesting. And, well, first of all, I guess, I'm trying to think how to put this. Wil Wheaton is an adequate reader. He's not terrible. He's not Jim Dale. He's just kind of not bad. I mean, he's okay. It's just one of those things like he's not an exceptional audiobook reader, but he's also not a terrible one. So I'm like, don't expect anything amazing, but for a novel like Redshirts, I think having Wil Wheaton read it is pretty appropriate. You know, being as how the Star Trek connection, etc. Anyway, the book itself. I liked about the first third of Redshirts. It's kind of a neat concept. The premise is that it's, okay, the reference Redshirts comes from the original Star Trek series, the one with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, etc. And the deal was that whenever the away party went down to a planet, there was always some poor guy in a red shirt, and he would get killed at some point in the mission, usually by a lava monster. But anyway, so the premise behind the novel is it's about the people on the ship who are the red shirts, the not main characters, and how they deal with trying to survive the situation they're in, and, you know, kind of having low odds of survival. It was a really neat idea, and I very much enjoyed that part. The part that comes in that makes it a little bit more difficult is the whole 3 codas part. And I looked up a coda. I was reasonably sure I knew what it was, but it's just basically a pretentious way to say 3 more parts. And here's the interesting thing about Redshirts. It felt to me like it was written as a novella that someone decided needed to be stretched to novel length. And I don't know. I thought that the extra parts were just kind of, you were trudging through them to get to the end. And he just kept tacking things on. So the problem with this is Redshirts wasn't his first novel, and John Scalzi has written other novellas. Like, he wrote a novella called The Dispatcher, which I thought was really good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so, I mean, like, I think his first book was Agent to the Stars. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that if not his first book, that was a very early one. But I mean, like, John Scalzi's written a lot of stuff that I really like. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed his Old Man's War series. I haven't listened to the Collapsing Empire or the Consuming Fire. That's his books in the Interdependency series, I think it's called. And I've just kind of been waiting for the 3rd book for that one, because I figure what I'll do is I'll just tackle the whole trilogy all at once. I think it's a trilogy. Anyway, the thing about Redshirts is it just felt like the 3 parts were tacked on, and it was just sort of being stretched to get to novel length. So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things like I would if it were just a novella, and, you know, you could get the novella audiobook relatively inexpensively, then absolutely 100% it's worth a listen. The problem is, like, you got to trudge through the last 3 parts as well. Now, I don't know if I'm in a minority with not liking the extra 3 parts tacked on, because the friend of mine who recommended Redshirts to me told me that he really liked the last 3 parts. At the same time, I think he also called me an illiterate hick. So, anyway. But the point being, I mean, I may easily be in a minority and not like the extra tacked on parts. But so, you know, I mean, actually, if you liked the extra parts and I'm just missing something, let me know in the comments, because I have occasionally missed fairly obvious things. I can remember back to years ago when I was in 6th grade, I read a book called Animal Farm. And I read it and I was like, okay, it's a book about some pigs. And I closed the book and went on with my life. And then 3 years later, when I was actually, I distinctly remember this part. I was in 9th grade in high school, walking down the hall, and it hit me completely out of the blue. It's like, Animal Farm wasn't just about pigs. So the point of this is I have occasionally missed glaringly obvious things. So if you liked the last parts and I'm just missing something, let me know in the comments, because it's not like I couldn't be wrong. Anyway, I'll include links in the description if you want to check out Redshirts, and also I'll include a link for The Dispatcher. The Dispatcher is actually kind of an interesting novella, and well, anyway, it's one of those things, like, it's definitely worth checking out. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope y'all have an excellent day.